Hey everyone, welcome to a TV Talk, The Studio. So, The Studio episode 6 was just so funny. If you haven't watched The Studio yet, it's on Apple TV Plus. Get on it. It's coming out every week on Wednesdays. I just watched the last episode recently here. This episode specifically was really just like a really funny one to me. The premise of this episode was Matt, who Seth Rogen is playing, is the main character of the entire show, is dating a new person. He's a studio executive in Hollywood, making movies, things like that. He's dating a new person and a doctor, and she invites him to a charity dinner with a bunch of her colleagues and things. And the day, like the earlier in the day, he's having a meeting and they're all at the dinner taking calls, trying to like approve of this thing, this stupid movie that they're coming out with, which has like diarrhea in it. Is like the big premise of it. I know, gross, but so there's that with him being in a room full of a bunch of pediatric oncologists or just other doctors. The episode is called Pediatric Oncologist. And it's just like this funny thing where he's like the one movie guy in the room talking about, oh yeah, like we got Ari Aster or Spike Jones, and they're like, who are those people? And like one of them says like, oh, we went to the movie theater we went to go see Barbenheimer, and he was like, okay, so 2 years ago. And they were like, oh well, we have, we stream everything now, we have a 70-inch TV. And he was like, well, IMAX is like the 70 something foot screen. And it's just like was so hilarious, the back and forth, and his ego's getting bruised because they don't really like understand he's trying to say like our jobs are so important. I've had like I have tough days too, and they're like, okay, movie guy, like whatever. And it was just like this funny situation. His ego's getting bruised, and he gets to a point where he's like, I need you guys to admit that our careers are just as important as each other, or we have the same value, whatever. And they're just like not having any of it, and it's just like this ridiculous thing. And specifically, I was thinking about how this made me, I can relate to some bits of it. I consider myself a cinephile, but I also was in the medical field I was on the medical track for a long while. And I've been in rooms like that where I've talked to people about certain movies or whatever, and it's like, whatever, but also like understand the importance of medicine and like, yeah, art makes life worth living. And Seth Rogen or Matt's whole thing was like, you take him to the hospital, but every hospital room has a screen on it, and those screens are important. And it was just like this ridiculous like back and forth thing. And then to top it all off, he curses them out, gets all upset. He goes somewhere, walks somewhere in the place, and falls, hurts his finger, passes out, has to get an ambulance called for him, and he's like still like going on about how important the movie people are, and like they're like, we have a private room for you at the hospital, whatever. He was like, hey, but that hospital room's gonna have a screen in it, and it was just like this ridiculous like 27 something minute episode that just was cracking me up. So yeah, I just want to talk about that because the studio, if you haven't been watching the studio yet, get on. Like I said, weekly on Wednesdays, Apple TV Plus. It is this funny little show. Seth Rogen is great in it. There's a great cast around it. And this episode, particularly this week, was cracking me up a lot. And so I just want to talk about it and get on the studio.